Welcome back to The Hidden Logic as we continue our massive Week 10 investigation into the shadow economy. In our previous video, we exposed the massive offshore tax havens used by corrupt billionaires to hide trillions globally. We proved that the global financial elite operate under a completely different legal system than ordinary working-class citizens. But today, we must look at the most violent and financially lucrative sector of the entire global shadow economy. We are going to expose the terrifying financial reality of the massive international illegal drug trade operating today. When you watch Hollywood movies about powerful drug cartels, you usually see violent criminals hiding in remote jungle camps. You see heavily armed men smuggling illegal narcotics across physical borders, using secret tunnels and extremely fast, small airplanes. But the mainstream media rarely explains what actually happens to the billions of dollars after the drugs are successfully sold. The Hidden Logic reveals that the global narcotics trade is absolutely not an isolated criminal enterprise at the fringes of society. It is a highly sophisticated financial machine that is deeply and permanently integrated into the legitimate global banking system. According to the United Nations, the global illegal drug trade generates up to $600 billion every single year. This massive river of dirty physical cash cannot simply be hidden under a mattress or buried in the desert permanently. It must be washed through legitimate financial institutions so the wealthy cartel bosses can spend it completely, freely, and openly. This is exactly where the most prestigious high street banks in London and Wall Street enter the dark financial picture. Let us examine the infamous case of a massive global bank called HSBC and their highly controversial Mexican operations. In 2012, federal investigators discovered that HSBC had laundered nearly $900 million for violent cartels. The infamous Sinaloa cartel physically delivered hundreds of thousands of dollars in customized boxes directly to the local bank branches. The bank executives completely ignored all standard anti-money laundering regulations because the massive cash deposits were incredibly profitable. And when this massive criminal financial conspiracy was finally exposed to the public, what was the actual legal punishment? The bank paid a massive financial fine, but not a single senior executive went to actual federal prison for their crimes. This proves that laundering bloody money for violent drug cartels is simply considered a standard corporate business expense today. But to truly understand this global system, we must look back at the historical origins of state-sponsored drug trafficking. During the 19th century, the British Empire aggressively forced China to import massive quantities of highly addictive opium. They used their massive naval military power to enforce this illegal drug trade simply to balance their international trade deficits. The British East India Company essentially operated as the largest and most heavily armed drug cartel in modern human history. This historical precedent proves that powerful empires have always used highly addictive narcotics as a strategic tool for financial dominance. Fast forward to the modern era, and we see intelligence agencies using the exact same playbook for their secret operations. During the 1980s, brave investigative journalists exposed how intelligence agencies allowed drug money to fund secret proxy wars globally. They needed massive amounts of completely untraceable dark money to illegally arm rebel groups without asking politicians for official permission. The drug cartels provided the perfect shadow funding mechanism for these highly illegal and completely unconstitutional foreign military operations. But the dark connection between illegal narcotics and global finance goes much deeper than just a few corrupt intelligence operations. During the devastating 2008 global financial crisis, the entire legitimate banking system almost collapsed completely and totally. The interbank lending markets completely froze because massive financial institutions completely stopped trusting each other with large digital corporate loans. According to the former head of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, something absolutely terrifying happened next. The only liquid investment capital readily available to save some struggling global banks came directly from the illegal drug cartels. Billions of dollars in dirty drug money were effectively and quietly used to stabilize the legitimate global financial system secretly. This means the modern global capitalist system is actively addicted to the massive liquidity provided by illegal narcotics trafficking globally. And this brings us to a critical moment in our deep investigation, where I desperately need your direct perspective today. Let us pause right now, because I must know exactly how you feel about this massive institutional financial hypocrisy globally. Go down to the comments right now and answer this very specific and highly controversial moral question for our community. If a bank executive knowingly launders money for a violent drug cartel, should they face murder charges in a legal court? Drop your detailed answer in the comments below right now so we can expose the real modern threats together completely. Your insight is absolutely crucial because the authorities desperately want you to believe they are fighting a legitimate war on drugs. But the war on drugs is actually a massive illusion designed to control poor populations and constantly fund bloated police budgets. This artificial war allows the government to heavily militarize local law enforcement agencies with expensive surplus military-grade tactical equipment. If governments actually wanted to destroy the massive global cartels, they would simply shut down their international banking access entirely. They would aggressively prosecute the wealthy financial accountants and the elite corporate lawyers who actively design the complex money laundering networks. Instead, they spend billions of taxpayer dollars arresting low-level street dealers, while the massive cartel bankers celebrate in luxury restaurants. We must also understand the concept of the balloon effect in global drug eradication efforts implemented by Western military forces. If you aggressively destroy the drug crops in one specific country, the production simply moves across the border to another nation. As long as the massive demand exists in Western nations, the supply chain will simply adapt to overcome any physical obstacle. The financial elite completely distance themselves from the horrific physical violence required to maintain this illegal global trade constantly today. While bankers in expensive tailored suits earn massive corporate bonuses, innocent families in South America are being violently and ruthlessly destroyed. Whole nations are completely destabilized, and local democratic governments are heavily corrupted just to ensure the constant flow of illegal cash. We must aggressively demand the complete nationalization of any major bank caught intentionally laundering money for violent global cartels today. We must hold the wealthy financial architects of the shadow economy personally and legally responsible for the extreme violence they fund. You have a profound moral duty to share this urgent alternative perspective with everyone who is struggling financially right now. Share this video immediately on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and every other social platform where your community actively gathers and communicates daily. We must break the powerful and dangerous illusion that the global financial system is clean and expose the bloody shadow economy. But the illegal narcotics trade is only one dark part of this massive and horrifying underground global financial network today. What happens when the commodity being traded for massive corporate profit is not illegal drugs but actual living human beings? Next time, we will expose the darkest and most terrifying reality of the shadow economy, which is modern human trafficking. We will discover how modern digital slavery generates billions of dollars for the hidden criminal networks operating globally right now. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and never stop questioning the artificial financial narratives surrounding you every single day. The shadow economy relies entirely on your continued public ignorance, so stay awake, stay vigilant, and keep tracking the hidden logic.